What's good, everybody? I'm Gimbal, and this is a series I like to call Arc Flash, where we go over the anime or manga story arc and getting all the details and the nitty gritty and things like that, so come on! This episode we're going to cover the second story arc of Demon Slayer titled First Mission, and it covers chapters 10 to 13 of the manga. Chapter 10 starts off by reiterating the lore of the Nichiren sword and how its color depends on the bearer and each color has different characteristics. And as we know, Tanjiro's sword turned black, which is uncommon, meaning that details on black swords aren't known, which then leads people to thinking that black blades are wielded by unsuccessful swordsmen. We see Tanjiro making his way into the village for his first mission. We hear Urukadaki informing Tanjiro that Demon Slayer core uniforms are made from a special fabric that breathes easily and resists both fire and flame. Even claws or fangs of the weaker demons can't damage these uniforms. Urukadaki made a new box for Nezuko to take refuge in for Tanjiro to carry. It was made with a certain type of wood to make it lighter to carry and coated with a rock lacquer to make the box harder and stronger than a normal box. Urukadaki then speculates that in this special case of Nezuko's demon behavior, she sleeps to regain strength rather than eating humans. As Tanjiro ventures further into this village, we see a depressed and distraught Kazumi. You may know him as the guy who was walking with the girl who disappeared at the end of the final selection arc. The villagers notice he's sad because they know he was the one with the girl, whose name is Satoko, when she went missing. The villagers also state how night after night these girls go missing. They even anticipate it as if it's becoming commonplace. Tanjiro approaches Kazumi and asks if they could speak together, to which Kazumi shows where Satoko disappeared. Kazumi doesn't think Tanjiro believes him, but Tanjiro reassures him that he does. He immediately gets on the ground to put that trusty sniffer to use. He smells a demon's odor but points out how it's unusual. Kazumi is thinking Tanjiro might be a bit off because of this. We get some context into Kazumi dealing with the struggle of losing Satoko, and naturally her parents blame him for her disappearance. Next we see a lone girl thinking about the girls who have gone missing and hoping they're alright. Then next page, we see hands emerge from some black liquid from under her and pulling her into nothingness. Tanjiro makes a run for it towards that smell because it's getting stronger. Kazumi follows him. Tanjiro is now traversing rooftops, and Kazumi can't catch up because he knows only Demon Slayers can Naruto run. Tanjiro arrives where he thinks the demon is located. He now smells two scents, a demon and a human woman. He doesn't see them, but he stabs the ground where he senses the scent is strongest. Tanjiro struck gold because you hear the demon cry in pain, and now we see the black ooze along with the kidnapped woman from earlier. He grabs the woman to save her, pulling the demon with her, and now we finally see what this demon looks like. Tanjiro falls back and seems to have cut the demon's right arm. He briefly recalls Urukadaki explaining that a demon's supernatural abilities are known as blood demon art. Tanjiro asks the demon where the other girls he kidnapped are and tries to ask another question, but the demon cuts him off. The demon makes a disgusting noise by grinding its teeth back and forth, which startles Tanjiro. The ones who watch the anime know this sound. It sounds like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
It retreats back into the ooze, and Tanjiro hands Kazumi the unconscious woman, telling him that if they stay with him, he'll protect them. Tanjiro is thinking that if the demon can come out of the ground, what if it can come out of the walls, or maybe even thin air? The demon can hide in the ooze, but it can't hide its smell. Tanjiro senses it approaching, so he fires up water-breathing fifth form, but there's 3 of them now. He's got to stay calm, and he knows what he has to do. 8th form, waterfall basin. Off the rip of chapter 11, we hear one of the most crucial pieces of information in the series. Tanjiro recalls Urukadaki telling him that only one demon in this world has blood that can turn humans into demons. The one who became the first demon well over 1,000 years ago. The one who Urukadaki thinks killed Tanjiro's family and turned Nezuko into a demon, and how to return her back to human form. This demon's name is Muzan Kibutsuji. We're back to the fight, and Tanjiro realizes that his last attack didn't amount to much because he changed it mid-swing. The demon retreats back into its ooze, and Tanjiro lands back by Kazumi and the woman. He notices that all three demons smell the same, when usually demons smell different from one another, so that must mean these three are the same demon split into thirds. Tanjiro knows the pressure of fighting three demons while protecting two people. He knows he can't let that get to him. He wants to try and get information from the demons about Muzan Kibutsuji and how to turn demons back into people. The demon attacks again, going straight for Kazumi and the woman. Total concentration, water breathing, second form, water wheel. Tanjiro's attack was too shallow again, and before he can attack once more, the demon slithers away. He thinks to lure the demon in so he can still protect the two without having to go too far away from them. The demon is berating Tanjiro, screaming at him about how he is interfering and ruining the girl's freshness. After going on a weirdo rant, the demon calms down. He brags about eating more girls in the town and how it's not good enough for him because he's still hungry. Hearing this, Kazumi now sees the thing that kidnapped Satoko. It's even more personal now. Another of the three demons emerges from the nearby roof, while the one talking takes away their attention. The demon opens its shirt, revealing many hairpins, saying if theirs is in his collection, that means he's eaten them. Both Kazumi and Tanjiro see their loved ones in their minds before they were killed. The demon takes that opportunity to attack again, but Tanjiro dodges it, making the demon hit the wall behind him instead, letting Tanjiro cut his arm off, but it wasn't enough. Another of the demons attacks twice, and Tanjiro dodges both attacks. He fires up total concentration water breathing. But Nezuko kicks open her basket along with the demon's head, making it spin in place and breaking its neck.
Look! He's thinking like a man! He's a... Oh! Sweet chin music! Sean with sweet chin music to Mr. McMahon! Sean is...
One of the demons asks, why is a human carrying a demon? It doesn't understand how the two could work together. The broken neck demon falls back into its ooze. Nezuko approaches Kazumi and puts her hands on them. She sees her sister and brother. As she walks away, Tanjiro remembers Urukadaki saying he placed Nezuko under a suggestion or a spell while she was asleep. All humans are your family. Protect humanity. Demons are your enemy. Never forgive demons for the harm they do. Nezuko goes to kick the demon again, but it falls into its ooze and she kicks the ground. She now charges one of the other demons, and Tanjiro tells her not to follow it and to come back. As she turns to look at Tanjiro, the demon tries to attack, but she flips over them and lands near Tanjiro. Tanjiro remembers Urukadaki telling him that Nezuko is a demon. She is not weak, so she doesn't need his help anymore. He thinks, is it alright? Can he leave her to protect Kazumi and the girl? If she does that, then he can fight the demon without worrying about them. Black ooze surrounds Tanjiro and pulls him in. Before he's fully submerged, he tells Nezuko to protect Kazumi and the girl. We now see what's inside the ooze. It's pitch black, and Tanjiro is weightless. He says how it feels like he's inside a bog, and that the clothes and belongings he sees must be from the people the demon had eaten, reminding him that it killed innocent people and he can't forgive that. The demon shows up in its different forms, asking Tanjiro if he's suffering because there's no air in their bog, and that he can't move like he does above ground. They swim around him like they're playing with their food, but Tanjiro is thinking how dumb they are to underestimate him. He thinks how the air at Mount Sagiri was thinner, and that he knows a technique for generating strength underwater. Now the demons are ping-ponging back and forth. Tanjiro thinks how is it possible to move like that in this bog, but he knows he has to wait for them to get closer. The technique he mentioned earlier is twisting his whole body to create a strong spin. They're getting closer, and Tanjiro smells their scent. The opening thread is locked in. Total concentration water breathing. Sixth form, whirlpool. This form pulls in anything nearby and cuts it up like a blender. 2/3 of the demon are out of the way, and Tanjiro knows he's running out of air and needs to help Nezuko above ground. Her and the last part of the demon are fighting. She punches him in the gut, to which the demon thinks how strong she is, how she doesn't seem to have any supernatural abilities yet, and her strength is an indicator that she received a lot of demon blood. It knows that even if she kicks its head off, that it will be able to heal quickly. Before the attack can connect, both of its arms are severed. Tanjiro to the rescue. Hands off my sister, says Tanjiro. The demon falls on its Pachecus in despair. It thinks, am I dead? Did they win? Tanjiro lets the demon know how disgusting it smells and asks exactly how many people it's killed. The demon says that if you let a woman age, she will get ugly and taste terrible, as if that's a valid reason to eat them. Before it can speak anymore, Tanjiro cuts the corners of its mouth and says, that's enough. He points his blade at the demon, demanding it tell him about Muzan Kibutsuji. The demon trembles in fear after hearing the name, surprising Tanjiro. It says that it can't speak about him. In what seems to be a realm of the mind, the triplet demon is in a chokehold by Kibutsuji. He's telling the demon he cannot speak or tell anyone about him, and that if he does, he will know because he is always watching. Back in reality, the demon is still trembling and telling Tanjiro he can't speak about Kibutsuji. Tanjiro still smells fear emanating from the demon and how it's shaking even to its bones. The demon grows its arms back and tries to attack one last time, but Tanjiro dodges and kills the demon. He thinks how again he has learned nothing to help his sister. He looks to see her sitting against the wall and runs to her. She's not hurt, she's just sleeping. All her wounds have already healed. He grabs her and tells her how sorry he is. He asks that she give him more time because he will stop at nothing to make her human again. Tanjiro goes to Kazumi asking if he's alright. He says, I've just lost my fiancé. Do you think I'm alright? Tanjiro says you may lose again and again, but you still have to keep living no matter how many times you've been beaten down. Kazumi grabs his uniform saying, what do you know? You're just a kid. Tanjiro kindly grabs his hand and looks at Kazumi with a smile on his face, which surprises him, so he pulls away. Tanjiro hands him the demon's trophies that belong to the women he ate. He says how he's leaving, but that he hopes Kazumi finds something of Satoko's to remember her. Kazumi thinks that something like this happened to Tanjiro. Then as Tanjiro is leaving, he apologizes for saying what he said. In the distance, Tanjiro turns back and waves by. With tears falling out his eyes, Kazumi knows Tanjiro's life must be hard because he didn't have the hands of a boy. They were too hardened from training and combat. While Tanjiro is walking, his crow is flying towards him. He's thinking, how many people has Muzan killed or made suffer? I will never forgive him. His crow tells him that he needs to go to Asakusa in Tokyo because there is a demon hiding there. Tanjiro is surprised he's already been given another gig so soon after his last one. 2 days later in Asakusa, the city is bustling and Tanjiro has never seen the likes of this before. He's never seen it being night, but light out, and how tall these buildings are. He's getting a bit overwhelmed, so him and Nezuko rush over to an udon cart. He makes an order, and they sit while he drinks up. But then he smells something familiar. He's trying to find out where it is. It's the smell that was at his house. He's clawing through the crowds, and then he's face to face with Muzan Kibutsuji. Tanjiro goes to grab his sword and attack, but he hears a child call for his father. Muzan is holding a human child, his daughter. Tanjiro stands there, shivering, thinking about how Muzan is pretending to be human. Muzan calmly asks him, is there something I can do for you? You look upset. Up comes Muzan's wife asking what's wrong. Tanjiro can't help but cover his mouth because he is in such disbelief to what he is seeing. Basically, the king demon, who is supposed to be this evil reincarnate, has a human wife and a human child. Tanjiro thinks, do they not know what he is? He's a demon. He's a killer. Muzan's wife asks him, do you know this boy? Muzan says no, not at all, but what a nuisance he is. We see people still walking around the busy street and towards them while Muzan is saying maybe this boy mistook him for someone else. In a flash, Muzan slashes a random man walking near him on the back of the neck. It seems Tanjiro is the only one that saw this happen, and the man stops in place, to which his wife asks, is he okay? Within 10 seconds, this man is transformed into a demon and starts to attack his wife. Tanjiro is trying to get to them in time, but the demon bites her on the neck. Hey guys, if you like this one, I appreciate you giving me the time. Gonna keep trying to make more videos in the future. Like and subscribe, baby. Oh yeah, yeah.